Bob Odenkirk.
Oh yeah,
Bob
you should have
Odenkirk.
guessed that.
So this is a beach where you go to die. It's the Greek myth of Persephone because you can't look behind you.
Turn into a pillar of salt.
You got it exactly right. So close. I have no idea what this is. I think this could realistically be like South America. I think this could be fucking Ireland. I think this could be fucking New Zealand.
That looks a bit like Costa Rica to me.
Really? Okay, that's a huge clue for me.
You should turn around because there's signs that you're not looking at.
No,
that might be.
You can't turn back. No passing.
Oh, that does look like Costa Rica
not
or
over your shoulder.
Country of some kind.
All right, Rob, I'm gonna go for you on this one. Costa Rica.
All right,
it's
going
near.
For you.
It's near San Jose.
San Jose.
Is that California?
Actually, just so you know, that was. I think that's still Russia. This is like the most southwestern part of Russia, bordering Japan, basically.
That was close. So you didn't look at the signs. That's what got you there.
Scotch whiskey in Ireland, you fuck. I'm sorry. Does it make you feel better to know that, we just consider it part of the United Kingdom here? I shouldn't speak for everybody. I was just trying to rile people up. So I'm trying to get closer to these weird statues here. Oh no! Let's just go deeper into the woods. I thought for a second that I was seeing like an apparition, but this is a statue nailed to this tree, right? But it looks like it's been like photoshopped in. Okay, where have there been the Olympics? Yes, Vancouver. This doesn't look like Vancouver to me. Is that a freaking Turkey? Winter Olympics. Salt Lake City. Torino, Italy. Innsbruck. Oslo. This shit does not look North American. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is not Salt Lake's fucking city here. Any flags or anything? You're a tourist shop. You gotta sell flags or something. That's right. Well, the Winter Olympics weren't in Sochi. That was this. Oh, they were. Yeah. Why did I think the Summer Olympics were in Sochi? I'm off my butt. So yeah, sure. Maybe this could be Sochi as well. Should probably like. Why do I hit when I hit back? I've been moving forward. Maybe we are in Sochi. Is that Russian? I mean, it looks Russian-ish to me. Where else have the Olympics been? Because it might not have been. It might not have been a recent Olympics. Like the Sochi Olympics, they seem so. Am I just going back to this place where I started? The Sochi Olympics are so recent that I don't even know if the Google trucks would get there, I forgot about. You're right. I forgot about the Lillehammer '94 Olympics. So I don't know. I'm thinking it's like Russia, but ages ago, like maybe like a 1940s Olympics or something like that. And that makes me think that it would be in near St. Petersburg, wintry city, lots of historic reverence. Put it like just outside of the city, like over here or something. All right, it was a little deeper into the interior, but still, I'm relatively pleased with that guess. It's a nice place. I hope it gets finished at some point. Well, this is like this strikes me as like a makeshift village for workers in an area or something like that. This is like a logging camp. This isn't a village, really, I guess. Is it just a place where people are going to live for a little while they're logging? I'll admit I'm trying to maybe take a look at people, figure out, what their physical characteristics are like to help determine where we may or may not be. Could be Asia. Could be Eastern Europe. Could be even Alaska. I would not be surprised if this was Alaska. Also, someone in chat said Finland. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Finland either. There's a lot of like Finnish-looking stuff here, based on my GeoGuessr experience and nothing else. Dude, this could be BC for all I know. This could be British Columbia. I want to take a look outside. Right now, I have no guess whatsoever. I'm leaning a little bit towards Eurasia, like Kazakhstan. But I have very little to go on there, as you might expect. Wow, okay, well, we're in wide open spaces now. Wow, we're gonna be living in the dark here. We could be in BC. This isn't time travel. All right, I get it. That's pretty funny. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say we're in Eurasia, and I'm gonna go with Kazakhstan because that was the first one that kind of popped into my mind here. Are there any like UNESCO heritage forests or something? All things considered, I think that was a pretty good guess. It was in Russia, but we were probably closer guessing Kazakhstan than what I would have guessed in Russia, so I don't feel too bad about that. I thought we were inside here. I can't be too mad about that. Woody-scovery. Mina Vien. Sinolbiav. EE. Okay. What top-level domain is EE? You would imagine that it would be a country that starts with E. I hope. Oh, okay. Choco pie is like a Korean food. So at first I was thinking, no, this has to be in Europe, but like an exported version. Okay, so that's Russia. Choco pie is Japanese, I think, but EE. So my thinking is like, okay, there's a Russian top-level domain there. EE means maybe Estonia. Estonia, over here in northeastern Europe, borders Russia. And, this looks like it could be Northern Europe. Northern Europe was kind of my first guess. I wish I can get a little bit more contextual clues, We'll see some signs coming up and some vehicles. I see that sign on the left. That blue sign coming up is probably going to be the most effective for us. We could be in Russia as well. EE, for all I know, EE could be Ukraine. It could be Kazakhstan. I don't know. All right. St. Petersburg, 566 kilometers away. St. Petersburg is like up, yeah, right there. 566 on the E105. That's the E20. Are there E highways that run? Let's just okay, there's the E105 right here. Let's follow it. What the heck? It goes like down here as well. Let's follow E105. We could be in Russia, but I think we're not. Oh, no, it's still there. My assumption was that we were outside of it, but where are we going now? Down into Kazakhstan. We got to be honest. I know I mentioned Kazakhstan earlier. I'm not very confident that it is Kazakhstan. What about, okay, in St. Petersburg, where does the 105 go? Does it come out the other side here somewhere? It becomes the M20. The other way is the M10. Where's the M10 here? Well, away down yonder by the St. Petersburg. Nah, it doesn't really work. Is this still the 105? Could we possibly be taking a bridge from, like, over here? That's just another part of... Okay, it's 566 kilometers away. To the upper left. Let's just take a quick look around. There's the 105. Let's at least make a decision for country. I think we're going to have to go with Russia. Because this is Cyrillic, and I'm going to have to abandon our Estonian option. And Western Russia seems to make sense. There's a lot more .RUs here. All right, so we're in Russia. We're going to St. Petersburg. It's 500 kilometers away. It could be Viborg. Oh, what was it? It was the 105, E105. Could it be like, could it be over here? Or would it be down here? What is up with this road? Like, I don't like it. I'm going to guess that we're in the first city south of St. Petersburg with a 105 connecting to it. Which, for us, is... Could that be 500 kilometers? Let me to approximate that, let me look at the distance between, like, Toronto and Montreal. Boop, 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 boop. That's like roughly 600 kilometers. You know, I'm just gonna say that we're in Novgorod. Let's give it a try. We ended up being 365 kilometers away. So actually, I wasn't far enough away. We were actually closer to Moscow. Which I should have thought because there was English on the sign. Maybe a little bit more traveler-friendly in the bigger cities, I guess, you know, by having multiple languages on the sign. You can't give me any credit for doing well on these. These have been pretty much exclusively guesses, but they're guesses with information, a limited amount of information. Let's just go back quickly and see what the sign is, then we'll start going in the other direction. So we are driving on the right side of the road here, which is an important clue. It's so comforting just to know that we're not in Australia, because it's just a crapshoot, man. Unless you're in a city, you're like, oh, there's the Sydney Opera House. Okay. I can't read that, but this does tell us roughly where we are. I don't think that this is Russia. And this might be ignorant, but some of these characters are obviously like Cyrillic, or at least I'm not familiar with them. But I don't think when I'm in Russia in GeoGuessr, you don't often see like these what I would call W's, right? I think this is maybe more of like I'm pretty sure that we're west of Russia. Like this could be Belarus or Lithuania. I don't think it's Lithuania. I don't think it's Latvia. It could be like Moldova, Georgia, maybe. I don't know. Let's keep moving along here. It could be Russia, admittedly. Well, I don't think we're going to see too much more. What do these signs say or indicate? I have no idea. That is some Illuminati shit that I have no familiarity with. There's another sign coming up. Ah, I was like, they're going to blur it out. That's how important it is. No, there is a curve to the left. What about this one? Okay, don't pass. It'll be dangerous. What do you got for me? Yeah, you know, that's got me thinking a little bit more on the Russian side, admittedly. I'm completely like ignorant of the Russian language. I will say that every time I end up in Russia, in GeoGuessr, I'm like, this place is beautiful. I don't necessarily harbor any desire to go to Russia. When I lived in South Korea, there used to be a ferry that ran from Busan, which is like the southern port city, it's the second biggest city in South Korea, to Vladivostok. I think it's Vladivostok, which is like the port on the, well, northeastern part, basically, of Russia. And it was like a 2-day ferry. Oh, this could be useful. It's like a 2-day ferry. I believe that says Moscow or like Minsk. in the language. KBA, okay. If you take the M1, you'll get to Moscow. M1, get to Moscow. Which one's the M1? It's this one right here. Okay. How far away is it? Maybe that's not Minsk. 450 meters this way. Let's back it up just a little bit here. I think we're pretty close now. Can't read the sign very well. I'm going to assume that we're, we're relatively far away, but if Moscow's straight ahead on the M1, why don't we put ourselves down here in, like, Odintsovo? Anyway, the end of that story, that's not so bad. I can live with that. 100 kilometers away in Russia is pretty good. There wasn't much to gain there. Okay, now, we've got a lot to gain, but whether or not it's actually going to filter into my brain remains to be seen. We need 8,700 points in order to get to our 20,000 goal. Just want to see the sign. They use meters. That doesn't tell me anything. Except that we're not in the United States or, like, Liberia. So, admittedly, this is not an exact science. But this building has language, looks Cyrillic to me, and has the colors of the Bulgarian flag, as we learned a couple of episodes ago. Has me thinking we maybe are in Bulgaria. It's just a hunch, but we don't have anything else to go on at this point, so we kind of gotta, take what we can get here. We're gonna head into this intersection and see if we can get a little bit more. Again, like if we're in Russia, it seems like we're in the western part of Russia. I'm trying to figure out what direction we should even be going in here. It's not an easy guess. I think we're probably better off this way. I don't know. Let's just keep moving. That is the Russian flag. So we're probably not in Bulgaria. We're probably in Western Russia. Probably. I say that just because, it's an ignorant assumption, but because of the foliage, I'm like, well, I don't think this place gets hit by the hardest winters in the world. Western Russia, a little bit less frigid, maybe, than the Siberian regions. It's a populous city, it seems. Want to get to, like, an intersection. I don't want to just pull out a guess out of nowhere. But our odds of getting closer than Western Russia are not good. So I don't know if this is the name of the city. Right there. Let's take a quick look at Russia and try to make it work. Hey, Tomo, what's up, buddy? Yeah? You think it's, what do you think it is? You don't have any idea, huh? Me neither. No, it's okay. We'll find it or we won't. So I'm looking for this symbol right here. It looks kind of like an N to me. And we're just going to start on the western border and then maybe move in the other direction. I guess it's probably that letter right there. That character, I guess I should say. I was thinking maybe Novgorod, but that doesn't look like it. All right, let's take one zoom closer. Well, no, we shouldn't be in Kazakhstan. All right, so we're looking for this. And it's like for me, it looks like an N followed by a P. An N followed by a P. Let me know if you see it. And that might not even be the name of the city. Like, this might be the name of the city. I don't know. I think that might be the name of the city, though. That might say, fuck you Canadian scum for all I know. We'll just take a quick cursory glance, and if we don't find anything, we'll do what you do in Russia when you can't find where you want to be, and you'll put yourself down pretty much in Moscow and hope that you're close. At least that's what I do. I think that's pretty much what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to assume that we're on a city just outside of Moscow. We're near that right there. Oh, it hurts. We were... Was that the name of the city? I don't think that was the name of the city. We got 2,000 points. It's now impossible for us to get over 20,000. Let's do it again. This is... when I look at this foliage, based on our GeoGuessr past, I think Eastern Europe right off the bat, but could be wrong. We're going to find out pretty soon. This looks like an area where we can glean a lot of information. It's like a flower market. That looks Russian to me. I can't say for certain. You know, Russia's too big for me to just look at that map and be like, oh, here's where we are. Even if we are in Russia in the first place. Wonder if that's like a library? Well, I see like, admittedly, I don't know what these are called, but those are indicative of like Orthodox churches and architecture. Orthodoxy, you know, popular in many parts of the world, but Russia is certainly one of them. There's a taxi service here, so, you know, we're certainly not just sitting in the countryside or something like that. We want to come back the other way. So, I mean, this is pretty much how it goes in Russia, if we are in Russia. I guess somewhere in the west of the country. And typically we find out that I was slightly wrong. There's buses. Buses are important. We're never going to catch up to this one. Oh, maybe this one, though. The problem is I have no idea, like, if this is a city name. But let's zoom in a little bit on Russia here. Is that a city name, or does that mean, like, hospital? I don't know. Kpacho. I mean, I know that's not how it's pronounced, but for me, Kpacho. Wow. Kpacho. It's too close for me to think that this is not right. I have to go with this. Like, the first letters all match up, and that's about as good as I'm going to get here. Let's give it a try. Oh, that hurts. So we were down here. It was actually up near St. Petersburg. They threw me off something fierce here. Where's the K Poncho? We got screwed. At least we were in the right country. And I had to take a drink of this water because I didn't get a chance to during the ad break. So thirsty. All right. Where are we? Immediately thinking this looks more like maybe South America. Could be somewhere in Europe. But this language is going to be a huge help. Okay, I think that was Cyrillic, right? Yeah. I always make this mistake, or I often make this mistake. So this is either like Russia or Ukraine, sorry, or like Belarus. I don't think that's Greek. I think this is probably in Russia. And I always say, you know, when I see a lot of green, this is not true. It's not true that, like, Russia is just a Siberian Arctic wasteland tundra or anything like that. But whenever I see... We can't move forward much more? Okay, whenever I see, like, you know, lush green forests, I'm like, you know, thinking Western Russia. Closer to Ukraine. Does that mean supermarket? I was looking for maybe some things that like they might have a sign, or they might have like different languages or different flags on them to indicate like this is a tourist area, but there's also just a big old road sign up here. Now, it doesn't really matter because I can't speak Russian, but I'm assuming that maybe this is like Kazan. Kazan is a city in Russia. Oh my god, it actually is. Okay, so Kazan is 100 miles, or sorry, I am Canadian. It's an unacceptable mistake. 105 kilometers away straight. What else is there? There's Bantaken. So let's get real close here. Where's Bantaken? I know that's not what it actually is, by the way. I wish there was a scale on Google Maps. Hacks. We got Mappin Tepic. That might be the biggest city apart from Kazan. Mappin Tepic. Time to triangulate. Mappin Tepic. I don't see it. If it's 105 kilometers away, we could pretty much just post up on Kazan city center, and the worst case scenario will be off by 100. The problem is I don't know how close to get to actually be able to see the areas. So I think I'm going to tap out of this one pretty soon. Yeah. I think I'm just going to put us like in Kazan, slightly closer to Moscow. Let me put it this way. Well, where's Moscow? It's a ways. Okay. I'm gonna put us like here in Cheboksary. We were on the other side, but we would have been off by nearly that much anyway, I guess. We took the hypotenuse of that triangle, but still, I'm pretty happy with the amount of points that we got there regardless. You're right, I should have used the compass. You are stepping actually directly onto my testicles?